Hey, this is JRev here. This is football talk for Sunday, the January 31st. I am here to talk about NFL football. NFL football is a very big passion of mine. I love it. There's been a lot of stuff that's happening in the last few days with a few trades and some players demanding to be traded, and I just want to talk about that stuff. I'm dressed in Chiefs gear because I'm cheering for them to win the Super Bowl because I like Patrick Mahomes. I like Travis Kelsey, who's on this jersey, number 87. I don't know. Yeah. Tyreek Hill. I like the team. They're not my favorite team, but I do enjoy that team, so I will be cheering for them. I like to get into this. I'm going to start it by talking about there was a huge trade of quarterbacks in the NFL last night. It won't go through until March, but the two teams have traded their quarterbacks. It is the Detroit Lions and the Los Angeles Rams swapping quarterbacks, and there's some picks in there. The quarterbacks being traded are Matt Stafford and a 2021 third round pick. They're leaving the Detroit Lions. They're being traded from the Detroit Lions to the Los Angeles Rams for Jared Goff, a 2022 and a 2023 first round pick. Matt Stafford, I love Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford is like one of my boys, one of my favorite players. I've always thought the Detroit did not do good by Matt. He's a big armed quarterback, first overall pick. Played with them for 12 years. He should have. They didn't build around him. They had Megatron, Calvin Johnson, years ago, but he got so fed up with the organization he retired. But yeah, Matt Stafford, he's a very strong arm former, 2009 first overall pick. He's played 12 seasons for the Detroit Lions. His career stats are 41,025 career throwing yards, 256 passing touchdowns. Well, passing yards, yeah, passing touchdowns. And his completion percentage is 62.5%. Those are all Lions records, Detroit Lions records. The Detroit Lions have had some great players throughout their history. The top being my favorite running back of all time, Barry Sanders. Barry, my boy. But yeah, I've always been a Stafford fan. Always been a Stafford fan. And this past season, Matt threw for 4,084 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 10 picks. They didn't have a good team. The team didn't have a good team. They don't really have a lot of good players. They fired their coach. Their coach was a bum. This guy that came from the Patriots. Crap, I forget what his name is. But yeah, he was a defensive coordinator for the Patriots. Matt Patricia was his name. He was a defensive coordinator for the Patriots. He went there and he just could not do it. And yeah, so this is probably good for Matt. He did play all 16 games this season, but he's played through a lot of injuries. His best season was 2011 when he threw for over 5,000 yards and he threw 41 touchdowns. He was like on fire that season. The guy was amazing. He had a really good year that year. He threw for almost 5,000 yards his next year too, and he's thrown for quite. He's played very well. He's been a very good quarterback, right under the radar though. He's never been known for because his team sucked. They didn't build around him. Fucking Detroit, man, and I've always liked Detroit too. I want to see them do well because they're those losers. Like they always fucking lose. You had Barry Sanders, Barry fucking Sanders, and you lose Barry Sanders. If you guys don't know about Barry Sanders, go look up some Barry Sanders highlights, please. This guy, he was dominant, beautiful to watch. Watching him, it was like poetry in motion. It was like, I loved it. It was so amazing watching him on game day. He is my favorite running back by far. I can't say enough good things about Barry Sanders. The guy could just go through. It was like he was on a different level. It was like he was running at a different speed than them. It was like time stopped. He just zoomed through there. It was, oh my God, it was amazing to watch. Now we'll talk about Jared Goff. This is what Detroit is getting. Jared Goff was also a first overall pick in 2016. He played 5 seasons for the Rams. He has thrown for 18,171 yards, 107 touchdowns, and a 634 completion percentage. Yeah, Jared Goff. Jared Goff actually went to the Super Bowl. Jared Goff and Sean McVay. I thought Jared Goff was going to be the man in LA. He came on like gangbusters. Him and McVay were like, it was awesome. I really liked Goff a few years ago, and he even had that huge game where he beat KC, the game that was supposed to be in Mexico, but it wasn't. It was a huge game. It was, I think each team almost scored 50 points or whatever. It was crazy that game. Like it was insane. And Goff outplayed my boy Mahomes. Goff had like a great season. Like that was the Super Bowl we were hoping to see, but it ended up being the fucking Patriots and fucking Tom Brady. Oh yeah, fuck Tom Brady. There, you'll hear that a few more times. But yeah, so Goff, Goff made it, and he played horribly in the Super Bowl. Oh my God, it was one of the worst performances I've ever seen. They were beaten 13-3. Bill Belichick just was on lockdown. Sean McVay could do nothing with his players. Todd Gurley was hurt, and I guess Todd Gurley was kind of what they needed. He was that piece that they needed, and they just couldn't do it. It was horrible. And then the next season, Goff played okay, but not as well. I believe they made the play. No, they didn't make the playoffs. They just missed out, but they still had a winning percentage. They still had a winning record. But yeah, Goff just didn't play as well. Him and McVay were just not. They weren't on the same page as much. And then this season, it was just bad. Like McVay just kind of gave up on Goff. He just Goff hurt himself, but it was like McVay gave up on it. Like for them to be willing to trade him, because he just signed a huge contract with them. For them to be willing to trade him, that McVay, who was his number one guy in his corner, just gave up on him. He's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm over. This is a breakup. We're done. And that's just how it goes. That's how it is, I guess. That's what happened. So yeah, that's exactly what happened. So now we've got Matt Stafford is going to see, and I'm excited to see Matt Stafford with McVay. I'm excited to see Matt Stafford because they got some good receivers too, and they got Cam Akers coming out of the backfield, and they got some good receivers up there. I don't know who's a free agent. I don't know what. They've got a good offensive line. I think that Whitman guy wants to come back too. Like they've got a good team, and their defense, the best defense in football last year. So you give Matt Stafford all that stuff as a quarterback. You put him out there somewhere he's going to be motivated. He's going to be loved in LA. He's going to love this guy. He's going to, put him out there. It's going to be awesome to see. I hope he does well. And I'm hoping that Goff can also turn around his career in Detroit. But I have so little faith in Detroit. The best thing for him, though, is that Detroit's new GM used to work for LA, and he knows Goff very well. So that could bode well for him. The new coach is he's motivated. Motor City Dan Stevens, I think he is. He's motivated, that guy. Dan Campbell, Motor City Dan Campbell. Yeah, he's motivated. He seems like he really wants to get them in the right direction. But as Lion fans know, it's bad. It's been bad up there. I feel bad for them because they had, like I said, they had Barry Sanders in the 90s, late 80s and the 90s, and Barry Sanders walked away after 10 years. Barry Sanders was still healthy. He walked away. He would have put the rushing record of all time out of nobody could have touched it. And then they get Calvin Johnson, who is physically probably the greatest wide receiver ever. Physically, this kid, he was 6'5", 220, 225 pounds, ran like a 4.2 or 4.25 40, and would catch these balls. Like he had one of the years, a year that Matthew Stafford threw for 5,000 yards. Calvin Johnson had the highest receiving yards of all time. Like Calvin Johnson would have come close to a lot of Jerry Rice's records. He was just that dominant. They called him Megatron, and they called him that for a reason. The guy was just a beast out there, but he also just walked away. like walked away in the prime of his career. So I just don't know what's going on up there in Detroit. Maybe somebody from the area or somebody that really knows the team. Maybe you can comment down in the comments. Maybe I don't know. Let's hope. But now moving on to the next big thing that happened in the NFL. Deshaun Watson asks the Houston Texans for a trade. He wants out. He is done in that place. He is done. Brother wants out of there. He's amazing. He's an amazing quarterback too. Amazing. I think the guy's he's a very dominant quarterback, and I really think that he's one of the top 5 best quarterbacks in football right now. Probably the top 3. I mean, he had an outstanding season this year, but his team just could. Yeah, his team was through 4-12. Horrible. His stats though were on fire, and he lost his best receiver last year. Like it's crazy. His receiver, they traded him away, traded his best receiver away to Arizona for a 2nd round pick. Probably the best receiver in football. Hopkins, probably the best receiver in football, and they traded him down there for a 2nd round pick. Who I don't even know who they got with the 2nd round pick. That guy's been fired. He was the GM and the coach. He had an issue with Hopkins as coach, and he tried to wave his phallic member around, I guess, thinking he's the big dog. But guess what? You done fucked up, son. You done fucked up. Now he's gone, and then Hopkins is gone, and Hopkins had a good year he had a good year with Kyler Murray. I mean, I'm happy for Kyler Murray because I like that kid too. But yeah, Deshaun Watson wants out. Listen, as a fucking Colt fan, I would love me some Deshaun Watson going to the Colts, or even getting out of the AFC South. Get the fuck out, because he's talented, man. And the Colts don't have a quarterback, so I don't know how good they're going to do this year. But fucking, he is one talented fucking guy. This guy, man. He's like a beast, Deshaun Watson. He can throw. His rookie season, he only played in 7 games and threw for 19 touchdowns. Like, fucking legit superstar. And it's going to be interesting to see where he's going. Texans are saying they're not getting rid of him. They say they're not going to trade him, which, everybody's going to play hard. It's going to fucking suck. Let's see if they can romance him back. Let's see if they can wine him and dine him and bring him back. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen, but let's see. Maybe. Doubt it. But yeah, Watson's stats this year. He led the league with over 4,800 yards. He had 33 touchdowns. But like I said, the team went 4-12, so fuck. Deshaun, I'm hoping you end somewhere. Allegedly is I don't know how, I don't know him. I don't know anything, but I read a lot of stuff on football. And allegedly the team he wants to go to is the Jets, which fucking blows my mind because the Jets suck. The Jets suck. But what do you think on Deshaun Watson wanting to be traded? Like, leave it in the comments and, tell me what you think. We can have discussion down in the comments. Now, I want to talk about who I think is going to win the 2020 season MVP. I mean, it's pretty. This year I think it's a four-player race, but one player stands head and tail above fucking everybody else. The guy played lights out down the stretch. And I mean, I wasn't cheering for him to be MVP because I wanted my boy Mahomes, but number 1 pick, it's got to be Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is going to win the MVP, I think. He threw for his team was 13-3. He threw for 4,299 yards. He threw 48 touchdowns against 5 interceptions. And his completion percentage was 70.7%. That means out of 10 passes he threw, he connected 7. Like, that's an insane stat. Like, to do that, like, the completion percentages are going up in football, but still, 70%, insane. And his quarterback rating was 121.5. Crazy.
he had a great season. He not even he had an outstanding season. One of the probably the best seasons by a quarterback. That's his most touchdowns he's ever thrown. He had another season of 45, but 48's the most touchdowns he's ever thrown. It actually ties him with Dan Marino's old record. Dan Marino, that used to be the record for many years when Dan Marino threw it down in I think it was 1984. He threw 48 touchdowns for the Miami Dolphins. Mr. Dan Marino, yeah, great player. Buddy of mine is a big Dan Marino fan, so I'll shout out Dan here. Yeah. Um, who I think is going to be second will be Derrick Henry from the Tennessee Titans. Derrick Henry rushed for 2,027 yards and 17 touchdowns. His team was 11-5. Derrick Henry is a premier running back in football right now. There's no doubt about it in my mind. I don't know how well he's going to do next year because it's funny, once you reach that 2,000 yard like mark, you never do as well again. Like it's been no other running back has ever done as well after that mark. I don't know if Derrick Henry can be the one that breaks that. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see him reach 2,000 yards 2 years in a row. As much as, like I said, I'm a Colts man, but I love football. So I love when good football players play. Good football players play. And Derrick Henry is a good football player. He just destroys it. Like he just runs through people. He's such a big back. He just breaks the tackles, and it's hard. You got to trying to double team. And then his quarterback has played very well too. Ryan Tannehill, like both them together. Ryan Tannehill threw for I think 32 touchdowns this year. It's insane. Like these guys, they played they played amazing again. Like they're so in sync with each other, and they got I think AJ Brown is their wide receiver, top wide receiver there, and he's great too. Like Tennessee has a good team. They have a good coach. He's from those fucking Patriots, but you know what? I can I can give him a little. I can show him some love. He's a good coach. He beat his mentor last year, so that was awesome. Third overall, my third pick is the one, the only, the greatest fucking quarterback in the league right now, Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes, in my mind, lost it, especially the last week because he sat. The fucking team was so dominant. They were 14-1 going into the last week. They didn't have to play. They sat all their stars, sat everybody, sat Kelsey, sat Hill, sat Mahomes. So Mahomes didn't get to pick up those nice, easy stats at the end, So he ended the season with 4,740 yards, 38 touchdowns against 6 interceptions. The guy, he's a beast. He's amazing. I think he's the most talented quarterback in football right now. I think I my favorite quarterback of all time, Peyton Manning. Like he's never going to be tough. Peyton is who I think is the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. I think when he was dominant during his stretch, Peyton nobody touched him. I think that Peyton is one of, in my mind, it's biased. We all got our biases, but I think that the thing about Peyton is he was like an offensive coordinator on the field. His brain, he would just dissect defenses on the field. He would beat you at the line of scrimmage. When he was fully capable of his faculties, when his body was working for him, and his mind, he's got a beautiful mind. I don't think there's people that were on his level in regards to that. There's some people that had more success winning, but it's a team game. But I think if you were to take a quarterback and put him on any other team and make him a winner, I think Peyton is one of those guys that you could plug in and he would help make that team a winner because he just had that knowledge and he would make the players better around him and he would make them accountable. So I think yeah, but we're not talking about Peyton right now. We're talking about Patrick Mahomes. I think Patrick Mahomes might be the most physically gifted quarterback I've ever seen play. Like Aaron Rodgers, a lot of people have said he is. I agree that Aaron Rodgers can throw, but Patrick Mahomes does things on the field. I don't know. I see it and it's crazy. He's got a rocket launcher. He's quick. He can run pretty quick, but he's got a rocket launcher. He like throws underhanded and stuff to his play. It's crazy. It's like an accurate Brett Favre who can move and has brains. Like that's the thing. He's got the brains. It's not just the moxie that Brett Favre had. He's got the brains. He's like almost like Peyton, where he can think. And when he gets up to that level, him and Andy Reid are like in sync, like simpatico. And when he gets to that level, man. So yeah, I think he's third. I think had he played the whole season, had he been able to play the whole season, and not had to get pulled out of games and stuff, it would have been close. But Aaron Rodgers really lit it on fire near the end. So yeah. And number 4, who I love this kid. I've had arguments with my friend for a couple of seasons that this kid, once everything connected with him, he would go to next level, and it's awesome. And it's Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills. I totally and utterly, I love how this kid plays. I mean, I love how they played this year, especially because he put things together. Him and Stefon Diggs just connected. Like, it was awesome to see him have that receiver and step up to that next level, because I always thought that if he could step up to that next level, the Buffalo Bills had a legit shot. They had a legit team. Like, he is physically gifted. He can run. He's 6'5". He's a big guy. He has a rocket launcher arm. He's awesome. And I'm so glad that he did so well this year, because I'm from Toronto. I feel bad for the Bills. They're just down the road. I've gone to see a lot of Buffalo Bill games in my life. And, I root for them. What can you say? They lost 4 years in a row in the early 90s. And, you kind of can't help but root for them. At least I can't. I like underdogs, right? So, yeah. Well, now it's time to get on to my Super Bowl predictions. Super Bowl predictions. Look what I'm wearing. And fuck Tom Brady. I hate him. I can never. I can't. Fuck. Yeah. I can't think that Tom Brady's going to win. So I believe Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. I am hoping that Patrick Mahomes wins the Super Bowl MVP for a second year in a row. And I'm honestly hoping Patrick Mahomes puts up a Steve Young type game where he just fucking, no, Brady, just like, they want to call you the GOAT, son? I'm going to prove. And he pulls out and throws 5 touchdowns, throws for like 370, 450 yards, just on fire, just does not let Tampa rest. Like, just, they're like, they start having PTSD out there on the field. That's what I want to see, because I do not like Tom Brady. But, is it likely going to happen? No. Tampa's a very talented football team. They are a very good football team. They've got a great receiving core. They've got a good offensive line. They got some great running backs in Fournette, and I don't even remember who else they have out there. Or Fournette, I guess his name is. And then they've got Tom Brady, who's won 6 Super Bowls. He is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I'm not going to take that away from him. A lot of people think he is the greatest quarterback of all time. He's the winningest quarterback of all time. He has the most Super Bowls of all time. He's going to be playing in his 10th Super Bowl this year. No doubt about it. He is a great quarterback. He's made himself into a great quarterback. In the beginning of his career, I believe he really got helped because of the defense and Belichick, and he just played well enough to win. He wasn't the horse. He wasn't the guy that carried the team. The team carried him, and he was a factor with them, like they were a team. Then later on in his career, he did develop into a much more offensive quarterback, and that's where him and Peyton Manning were competing all the time, and that's why I hate him so much, because Peyton's always been my boy. But I can give this guy credit. I just don't want to see him win another fucking Super Bowl. He's already won 6 of them. I want Mahomes to take him out. But yeah, they're a very talented team, so I do not see it being a blowout, but I would love for it to be. I'm hoping, honestly, if the score was over 100 points, I'd love it. Like, if it was 50, if it ended up being 54, like 50 for, I didn't even do the math to see if that's possible, but for, Kansas City, I'd be happy. That would be awesome. I would love it. So I'm hoping Casey wins. Yeah. So folks, this is football talk with JRev. I can't wait till a few people listen to it. I'm hoping my cousin Justin listens to it. He's a big football fan. You know, I'm gonna tag him in it, and hopefully he'll listen. My other cousin Alicia, she follows the channel here, so that's awesome. You know, my fam. I'm hoping people listen. I want people to comment. I mean, hey, I'm trashing Tom Brady, the goat, the goat. So you know what? Let people comment. Let's have a discussion. But thank you. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe. Please, please, please. Please share the page. Like, if you know people that like to talk football, share it. I love football. I love to talk football. I love a good football conversation. But please share it. Please like it. You know, trying to make this a successful channel. And the more people that get there, the more voices that I have, the more people that listen in, the better. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. And you know, go Chiefs.